White people have never been able to sleep, and history proves it. For a group that claims to be the pinnacle of reason, white societies have spent most of their history failing at the most basic human function: sleep. Not deep, body-connected, rhythmical sleep, but anxious, industrialized, furniture-dependent tossing and turning, wrapped in linen sheets and Protestant guilt. Most pre-industrial societies slept in segments: a first sleep, a period of quiet wakefulness, and then a second sleep, a rhythm still observed in parts of Africa, Asia, and indigenous Americas. Europeans also did this, but when they couldn't understand why, they called it insomnia and began inventing moralistic solutions like cold bath, prayer, and guilt-induced stillness. They turned their natural sleep cycles into problems to be fixed. Beds were for suffering, not sleeping. Medieval white elites slept in upright beds to avoid blood rushing to the head, propped up like half-dead statues. Servants slept on the floor. Peasants collapsed in straw piles. Nobody was stretched out, relaxed, or aligned. Comfort was seen as laziness. Rest had to look like penance. While other cultures treated sleep as healing, white society turned it into punishment with a mattress. Sleep was replaced with labor discipline. The Industrial Revolution brought clocks, factory bells, and early-to-bed, early-to-rise puritanical nonsense. Sleep became a waste of time. People were shamed for napping, discouraged from dreaming, and told to wake up at the same hour every day, regardless of the sun. This is how white people built entire cities where nobody sleeps well, and called it civilization. Artificial lights, from torches to oil lamps to gas lights, extended the day, but wrecked circadian rhythm, and white households still don't know how to respond. Instead of adjusting their behavior, they invented tonics, opiates, sleep manuals, and eventually prescription drugs to force their bodies into sleep cycles they had destroyed. They invented the alarm clock, not to help people rest, but to shock them into survival for another shift. African societies often practiced restful sleep in open compounds, with shared rhythm, light socialization, and no concept of sleep guilt. Indigenous groups slept in harmony with seasonal cycles, adjusting duration and timing with climate and labor. Asians incorporated pre-bedtime rituals, teas, breathing practices, and natural materials to aid deeper sleep. White colonizers looked at all this and said, "They're lazy, they're idle, they sleep too much." Meanwhile, white settlers were shaking from sleep deprivation, hallucinating in prayer closets, and inventing coffee addiction. Sleep is medicalized because the basics were never learned. White people created mattresses that ruin spinal health, light pollution that disrupts melatonin, and phones that fry their brains before bed, and then act shocked when they can't sleep. They have apps, pills, white noise machines, blackout curtains, and bedtime yoga podcasts, and they're still exhausted. They never learned to let the body follow rhythm. They just tried to dominate the night like they did everything else. They look down on nap culture, even though global evidence suggests it improves cognitive functioning, mood, and longevity. Schools, jobs, and social life are all designed to suppress rest until burnout, and the medical industry profits from treating the damage. When you build a world that punishes people for needing rest, don't be surprised when you're physically and spiritually collapsing by 35. White people have never slept right. They pathologized natural sleep cycles. They moralized rest and rewarded exhaustion. They built a civilization on insomnia and called it discipline. And they still can't figure out why they wake up tired after 9 hours on a $3,000 mattress. So next time someone claims white people are advanced, ask them this: if they're so evolved, why have they been losing sleep, oversleep, for centuries? Cope.